And my name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell. Sitting with me today are Caleb Alexander and Mario Salas. The other person that usually sits with us is Chris Dawkins, but he's out on special assignment. We have 4 topics that we want to share with you guys. One that kind of answers a question that we've been asking ourselves for the past 4 years as a team. Where are our Black leaders? Well, guess what? They got together this week to hold a press conference about the Trump administration policies. We have the Congressional Black Caucus, we have the president of the Panhellenic Council, we have the National Council of Negro Women, and we've got some other people involved. But the question I want to know is, why now? Now, I am glad they got together, okay? It's a long time coming. But why now? We've had issues with DEI policies last year. Why didn't they get together to talk about this? You know, we had affirmative action happen last year, you know, the removal of affirmative action. We had 300,000 plus Black folks lose their federal jobs. Why didn't they get together and sound the alarm? So they have gotten together, spent time talking about whatever they want to talk about, but the issue is, what's the plan? What is the plan? And that's the question that's burning it with me. What is the plan? Now that you have gotten together, what is the plan? Go for it.
I don't think they have a plan per se. And look, here's a question I wanted to ask you, like Chris does. Well, both of y'all and myself, I'm asking myself this question. How much did that racist picture of Obama and Michelle on their heads on the bodies of the ape play into them getting together?
Well,
and if the answer to that is that's what triggered this, then what that tells me is they're more concerned about this cartoonish attack, racist attack, than they are about the more sophisticated attacks. The DEI is a sophisticated attack, but putting a Black person's head on a monkey's body, that's more like slapping you in the face. So, do they only respond to being slapped in the face? That's my question.
Well, it was mentioned. That picture, that video was mentioned during this press conference. And yeah, it's offensive.
It is.
But then all those Black folks who have lost their federal jobs, we're even seeing pressure being put on private corporations such as Black
History programs canceled.
You know, about hiring Black people. You got. They mentioned they had to. I'm gonna say the nerve to mention the banning of books. That happened a year ago.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden are they motivated now to get together?
For me, it is because they're looking at the outright racism, and that cartoonish thing was in-your-face racism. Whereas in the more sophisticated forms of racism, it's like it doesn't register to them. I can't think of any other explanation other than they're mentally they're middle class, and look, Black people who are not middle class that live in the hood, they're used to this kind of stuff. I mean, they have an awareness that some middle-class Black folks just lost somewhere along the line. So, to me, that's got something to do with it, too.
You think so?
Yeah, that's got something to do with it.
I think it's a day late, $1 short. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you getting together now, or what? You can't clutch your pearls and be like, oh, there's a picture. They're racist. Like, come on. Like we haven't known that for years. We've known that since he refused to rent to Black folks. We've known that since he put out the article on the Central Park 5. We've known, Stephen Miller is not unknown, and him having dinner with David Duke, that's not an unknown. The saying that they're good people on both sides in Charlottesville, these are not unknown, you know what I mean, to us. And so Project 2021, I mean, it's a foundation. It's the racism there is just foundational to the entire project. Where were they at when they were attacking the sister Claudine Gale? Where were they at when they were attacking the sister at who leads the medical program at Hopkins? Or I mean, it's a long history, a long trail of racism in and around this administration. So this one picture of Obama face on an 8, if that's what was triggering, that to me that's absolutely
well,
And saying America has lost its way, it never had its way.
It never found its way.
well, you know,
It's
like
built
I
on
said,
racism.
I'm glad they have gotten together, but you're a little late. You know, even Hakeem Jeffries, he's in on this group as well.
Oh, yeah,
Well, Hakeem, you know, I got an issue with you too. Now, a couple of weeks ago, or about a few weeks back, you voted for funding ICE more.
You
And
sure did.
you know, you had the power to not vote. So what was the motivation behind that vote?
This idea where, look, we're gonna have a conference to study on the previous conference, on the previous symposium for the study of, you know what I mean? Come on, when is it time to stop the studies? When is it time to stop the conferences? When is it time to stop the talk and really do something, take action, and mobilize? And so there's been, my thing is, so when Trump threatened China, right? He's threatening China. China says, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna reciprocate with tariffs. Not only with that, but we're gonna stop you from exporting any rare earth materials. He went to South Korea and gave them everything they wanted. This threat, I'm gonna invade Greenland. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And the European countries said, okay, we're no longer gonna utilize U.S. currency for trade. We're gonna dump every single bond we hold. They backed up. No more talk. So it's not like it's a secret to how to get these people to respond. You respond through economic boycott. You respond by work stoppages. You respond, you know what I mean? You hit them in their pocket. And if you start hitting these people in their pocket, hitting the business in their pocket, these people, trust me, they're gonna respond to those business owners calling the White House, because they're the only people who could probably get through and got them on speed dial. You know what I mean? Hey, you idiot, you're messing up my money. You know what I mean? And so when are these leaders are really going to call for serious action?
Yeah, that's why I listened to the conference, and admittedly I might have blinked, but I never did hear about what we plan on doing. So that's what I want to know is, okay, great, you've gotten together. I want to give you kudos on that. You finally have gotten together. But what is it that you plan on doing?
It's optics. They could have did that on Zoom. They didn't have to get together. They could have saved a whole bunch of jet fuel and everything else. That's optics. And so it's time to move beyond optics. You know what I'm saying? They could have tweeted each other and said, hey, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? It could have been a WhatsApp conference or anything. But right now, they're too concerned with optics. The gorilla thing was an optic, and they responded with more optics. And so again, it's time to move beyond optics and to really challenge this administration and let them know that you're serious, because they're not going to respond. There's a saying that's old as dirt, that power can seize nothing without demand, right? And so these people they're not going to stop.
Well, at the very least, they could do what Reverend Barber's doing. Reverend Barber's calling for action in the street. All the people standing up there, where's the action in the street they're calling for? And I guarantee you, if they call for it, they get a ton of people coming out. But no, they want Reverend Barber to do that by himself. And see, to me, that ain't right. That ain't leadership, and they're not showing leadership by doing the optical. As the way you described it. You're right about that.
Minnesota is the blueprint. Minnesota got them to get whatever the little short guy, they sent him back to California when the people in Minnesota took to the streets and paralyzed. They basically not only take hundreds of thousands of people take it to the street and paralyzing the economy and protested. It was a sustained protest. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening? Oh, we're going to start drawing down ICE. They're starting to pull ICE out of Minnesota. They're starting, you know what I mean?
Where are they going to put him next?
That's the blueprint. That's how you win. You have to stand up to these people. You can't stand up to these people by having a conference and then a strongly worded statement from Chuck Schumer. That's not going to get it. You know what I mean? We're beyond strong letters. You know what I mean?
So I think that we can all say, yes, it's about time you got together. But now, what is the plan? What do you plan on doing? So I will be scouring the internet over time to see if a document is dropped so that we can see what is the plan.
Well, yeah. Well, to me, we've never been able to expect much of a plan from the black middle class. That's just the way I see it. It always starts from the bottom up. Is the people in the street are the ones who force the people at top to do something, and that's not just relates to the whites in power. It relates to the black folks who belong to these bougie organizations. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that. They need to get some gumption and stop acting like they're so high up on the hog.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our next topic.
No, just before, I just want to say I'm glad to see that they did come out, the Congressional Black Caucus. For a while, I thought we were going to have to put them on a milk carton because we hadn't seen them in a year, 2 years. We hadn't seen.
Now that's a cold shot.
Where have they been? We haven't seen these folks. I thought they were missing in action. When I seen them, I was like, blink twice. If you're okay, if you've been held hostage, whatever. I'm glad to see that. That's the only thing the press conference did. Let me know they're still around. They're still alive. So
Missing and exploited politicians.
yeah, that's the thing I'm saying. But I was like, go ahead.
So our next topic, Trump snubs black and gay governors. Basically, President Donald Trump excluded Colorado Governor Jared Polis, the only openly gay governor, and Maryland Governor Wes Moore, the only black governor, from a traditionally bipartisan White House governor's dinner. This break from long-standing practices prompted widespread backlash among Democratic governors. Many Democratic governors announced they would boycott the event in solidarity with Polis and Moore. The exclusion was widely viewed as politically and symbolically significant, given the identities of the two governors. The controversy intensified partisan tensions surrounding what is normally a routine National Governors Association gathering. Invitations were sent to all governors other than these two, according to Trump, meaning all Republican governors were invited and expected to attend. So I said, okay, Trump, you up to your old tricks again. Had you guys heard about this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You set your head fast. I'm gonna pick on you.
What? Oh,
Go ahead.
no, it's obvious. We're not gonna invite the black guy. We're not gonna invite the gay guy. I'm surprised they invited the women. You know what I mean? They want to really go back to the 1940s and 50s. So I'm surprised they didn't invite any women governors. But or they might have invited them to carry the food trays or whatever. But no, it was blatant. It was obvious. It was racist. It was homophobic. I'm glad the governors are responding the way they're responding. And I hope the Republican governors are continue to join us, speak out and continue to join in solidarity.
And then the other thing is the organization itself of governors said it can't happen, it's illegal.
Yeah.
So they went on record of saying, well, you can call whatever you want, but this is not sanctioned by the Governors Association.
Yeah.
So they got undercut real quick. You can't just call certain governors under the auspices of the main group.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Trump lost that one,
Yeah.
at least as far as the organization goes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't invite Pam Bondi to be a governor at least for a day.
Yeah, you need to go to law school.
That's the Maryland governor there, right?
Westmore.
And so he keeps breaking, and the people keep saying, "Oh, he keeps breaking these traditions, right? Breaking these first president didn't mention Dr. King. First president ever. You know what I mean?
Well, he wants to take Dr. King off all the walls he can.
Supposedly next year he's going to cancel Black History Month.
Oh yeah.
Black History Month or MLK celebration.
Yeah, and then he took the free. He's already taken a step. You can get in on his birthday, but he can't get in on to national parks for free on MLK's birthday. He's an idiot. I mean, and so anybody that's still shocked at this point, anybody who's still supporting this guy at this point,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, and so if you take this back to our last topic about CBC, where you at?
Yeah.
You know, this is my thoughts. Because there hasn't been push from them against a lot of his actions, if they had been pushers against his actions, this might not have happened. That's what I want to think.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, because he's sitting back, he says, well, they're not going to say anything anyway.
Yeah. And this is one of them cases where you hear it all the time. Well, we have to pick our battles. No, you fight every battle. You don't give an inch. You don't say, no, I'm not gonna save my energy. You fight every single step of the way, and you do everything you can to slow these people down, to monkey wrench the situation. You do everything. My other thing is this, though. This is not just a black fight. You know what I mean? This is a decency fight. This is, if you claim to be an American and you claim to be for diversity, or you claim to be for the American dream, or you claim to support the Constitution, I don't care what party you are, you should be up in arms about this guy inviting everybody but the black guy or the gay guy. You know what I mean? So if you call yourself a decent Republican, or if you call yourself a Christian, you should be up in arms. You know what I mean? You should be out there leading the charge.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
I
Mike
agree.
Johnson calls himself a Christian, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we already know about him.
Yeah.
You know, don't knock on his door. You may get
Yeah,
surprised.
he's a Christian nationalist. But go ahead. I'm jumping off topic, but that's but not really.
Yeah, this all feeds into everything. I know that we've got a series of YouTubers who make statements. Got one YouTuber who is really speaking out more. I mean, he is coming out of his comfort zone, really speaking out more. We've got black attorney YouTubers who are speaking out and talking about, I prepared you with Project 2025, and I told you what was going to happen. Well, this was going to happen. I've had to drop some of my associates that I knew were Trump supporters, but it got to the point where I dropped them from my Facebook page because they were countering what I believed in, and they were black, and it made me wonder that you are a father, a grandfather, and all the stuff that we're seeing happening right now. Now, it may not impact us as much, but it can impact our sons and daughters and their kids, because how long is it going to take to correct these actions?
I haven't dropped any of them. Like all my white friends who I knew were Trump supporters, I haven't dropped any of them, and I love posting, because when I post, I'll be thinking about them when I'm posting. I'll be like, I wonder what they're gonna say about this. and the black ones that are out there, every time I post and they say something back, I'll just throw a raccoon on the post, be like, this is what you look like supporting Trump. I'm keeping them.
I took them off. I took them off.
Is a raccoon dead or alive?
I took them off.
I didn't throw a coon on there so
I
quick.
didn't want to play with them anymore.
No, I throw a coon with a cape on there every time. This is what you look like. No.
So, hot topic number 3. I found this one interesting because there was a question of ethics here. But MAGA wants Justice Brown Jackson investigated. So this is what happened. This is what happened, okay? A pro-Trump Republican Senator, Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, called for an investigation into Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson for attending the Grammy Awards, where she had been nominated for an Auto Book Award tied to her memoir. Blackburn argued in a letter to Chief Justice John Roberts that the Grammys were a highly politicized event and that Jackson's presence could undermine public confidence in the court's impartiality. The senator also claimed that Jackson applauded moments of anti-ICE rhetoric during the ceremony, raising what she described as ethical concerns. Jackson, who did not win the award, was nominated in the Best Audiobook Narration and Storytelling category. The call for an investigation drew criticism, with some commentators framing Blackburn's demand as politically motivated rather than grounded in legitimate judicial ethics concerns. I said, you have got to be kidding me.
Yes.
Talking about political rhetoric?
And
politicized,
Undermine the judicial system.
maintaining impartiality. Well, how many are there? There's 6. There's 9 of them, right? Well, 6 out of
Yeah.
Out of the
nine.
9 tend to vote for who?
No, 6 out of 9 are deeply compromised. If that's the standard.
Yeah, in fact, one of them is on that list.
The Supreme Court right now has no integrity. If
None
you
of
want to
them.
argue that
You
point.
have somebody who bought Clarence Thomas's mama house and has given him all the Republicans that trips on yachts and planes and vacations and all kinds of mess. And every year they attend, what is the big right-wing Republican conference they have every year?
And that Turning Point.
Not Turning Point.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, that is it the CC?
The PAC.
The CPAC.
CPAC.
They all show up at CPAC. The justices show up at CPAC. All the senators, everybody show up. They all speak at CPAC. Mm-hmm. They've been featured speakers. Mm-hmm. What's the big right wing judicial one that they all where they get all their marching orders from? I can't even think.
Go ahead. They're all alike.
Yeah, they show up and speak.
You talking about APAC?
No, but they all show up there. But it was whatever the one is where the justices that has to do with it. But Roberts has been guest speaker. I mean, they all show up at these different speaking conferences and give all these different retarded speeches, and then they're the one who they think is the Republican judicial Jesus, Scalia, has showed up multiple times when he was alive and given all these controversial speeches at all these different places and organizations and PACs and conferences. That lady's lost all of them. She's lost all of them.
Yeah, and then Clarence Thomas's wife supports all this really right-wing extremist crazy stuff.
Yeah, and she's writing checks and going to all these different, giving speeches and doing all this kind. That lady's lost her mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like impartial.
Yeah,
I had to laugh.
Yeah, she's lost her mind.
I had to laugh.
Lost her mind.
Why didn't the Black Congressional Caucus talk about that? They talked about the ape picture.
Yeah.
That's just CBC, get it together.
Yeah,
get it together.
They should have came out when they with Governor Westmore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They should have been up in arms. You know, not but again, everybody should have been up in arms. The CBC and everybody else. I mean, and then my other thing is too. We keep hearing the people saying, why aren't black people getting involved and why aren't black people protesting? Well, how many Latinos did you see come out in the streets when they denied Westmore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The majority of black people aren't, like Sharon's saying, they know how bad it is.
Yeah.
They're looking at these so-called leaders, middle-class black leaders, and wondering what the heck's wrong with them. They don't understand all the rotten stuff that's already happened.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about a cartoonish, racist picture more than they are about ending black history programs.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're I don't know. It's almost like when the black middle class gets attacked, then it becomes a big deal. Mm-hmm. Or when they perceive the attack as not against the ghetto blacks, I'll put it that way, but now it's against all of them, then they get mad about it.
Yeah.
You know, but when people in the community, just ordinary people, don't have to be middle class, just ordinary people, they get attacked every day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, so they already know this press conference stuff is not, you're weak. That's weak. Yeah. Very weak.
But again, we're glad they got together. Yep. You want to speak, you know, you can quit doing the
we know they're still alive. Yeah.
Boxes.
Yes.
We're glad they did it, like Karen said, but it ain't enough.
No, it's not enough. But again, it's just, I want to see people calling for allyship, right? I want to see that same energy when they don't invite a black governor. I want to see that same energy when they attack a black Supreme Court justice.
So we need to see what's happening on the Republican side. Yeah. You have Project 2025. Mm-hmm. You've got Project 2026. You guys, we don't talk about that. You've got the Esther report. Esther report, I think it's called. So there's some things out there, and you can download this information on you know, wherever your browser is. CBC, put a report out there so that we can see what you plan on doing.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget the Epstein files.
Yeah. And if their plan is just to wait, we're gonna wait and see what happens during midterm, or that's not good enough. Mm-mm. That's not good enough because you banking on us having a midterm. That's not, and at this point, that's not guaranteed.
So before we go to our last one, I'm going to do a deep dive. Mm-hmm. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of missing black children. Mm. based on what I read in the Epstein files, a lot of our answers are in those files. I think this is a time where CBC, NCNW, Panhellenic Council, all those Black Churches Association, they need to be looking at those files also deeply to figure out where are our babies if they're still alive.
Yeah.
But
If
did
they're
he
still
like
alive.
black girls?
Huh?
Did they have black girls on the island?
No, you have to read the report. You have to really read the report because it has nothing to do with what they did to those white girls. It's what they're doing to babies, what may be happening to our Black kids. Because in that Epstein files, there were allegations of murder. And so I'm thinking that there's a connection between the two, but it may not be clear because there's so many pages, but I really believe, this is our hypothesis, that what's happening in that book, what's happening in those files, what we're seeing, what I've seen, maybe where our Black, may answer the question as to where are our babies. Where are they? And it has nothing to do with them going to the island.
Kidnapped.
If you watched, what's that movie, Eyes Wide Shut? There's a connection. There's a connection. Okay, so finally, this is the one that I'm really excited about. This is a Texas thing, and I heard it may be happening in other states. But let's just talk about it from a Texas point of view. Our high school students are a little perturbed about the ICE move, what's going on with ICE and protecting their First Amendment rights. So the Texas Education Agency issued new guidelines reminding school districts of their legal responsibilities following a wave of student-led walkouts protesting immigration ICE activity across Central Texas. The guideline emphasizes that districts must ensure student safety and attendance, warning that students participating in walkouts must be marked absent and that schools could lose state funding if they appear to support or encourage protests. TEA's memo also outlined potential consequences for educators and districts, including investigations or even state takeovers if schools facilitate political activism during instructional time. The guidelines were released after Governor Greg Abbott directed TEA to investigate the walkouts, which occur on more than a dozen campuses in Austin, and another one is being scheduled for next week, I believe, not necessarily in Austin. The announcement has prompted concern among lawmakers who argue that TEA's guidance is vague and may unfairly penalize students and educators for peaceful demonstrations. So I have a young lady who's going to be one of our guests. She's a high school student, and I want to ask her about her thoughts about these student-led protests. I don't have a problem with them protests. I consider it a not only their first constitutional right, First Amendment right, but consider it an exercise or a field trip. The kids are not going too far from the school. I haven't seen any fights break out at these protests. Usually attendance is taken within the hour of the school day.
Before 10 o'clock.
So I haven't seen any protests happen during that time frame because the kids are smart. Now, I guess it's a good thing I'm not in the classroom anymore because I'll be out there rah-rah-rahing the kids. But they have a right. They see, going all the way back to our discussion about Project 2025 and everything that we have discussed, they see their future being lost. They're questioning their access to the American dream. They're asking all these questions. And it's critical thought and action. Thoughts?
Well, it's the administration's attempt, in this case, the Texas administration, and the national one too, of ignoring the First Amendment. What greater example of First Amendment, the right to free speech, is there than students exercise? That's the greatest civic lesson that you could ever have. That's a classroom discussion about what the First Amendment is in a government class. And so for them to highlight the fact that they may be walking out at a time when it's a class time is not the main point. They have the right. You don't lose your First Amendment right because you're in high school, but they don't care about that. And it's because they're protesting ICE is the main reason. They're protesting the tactics of ICE, the brutality of ICE, the murdering of ICE. There's nothing wrong with them doing that. They have a right to do it. And for the government to say that to investigate schools, to me, nothing's going to come of it. Nothing's going to come of it because the First Amendment's going to trump that. And I don't mean to use Trump's name in a positive way, but the First Amendment's going to trump that.
Right.
And what is there to investigate? I mean, if students decide to walk out of class, I mean, no teacher's going to stop them anyway.
Yeah.
You can't stop them.
Yeah.
And some of them do it after school too, as well. They can do it at school, after school, or whatever. And schools ought to make a safe place for them to do that. And if it's go out on the football field and do that, that way they're safe and they don't have to worry about somebody riding by and shooting at them, or some ICE guy beating them up with a tear gas canister.
Right.
And so, but they don't care about that. They just want to make ICE look good when ICE is never going to look good.
Right.
They're going to always look like the terrorist organization that they are.
Right. Right.
Now, I didn't read the article too deep, but at East Central High School here in San Antonio, they had to bolt the doors because of possible ICE raids. You know, so the kids are more than aware.
That's Central Catholic?
East Central.
East Central. Yeah, that's good. Keep them all. ICE doesn't have a right to go on a school campus.
Right.
Without a warrant. Yeah, ain't got no warrant, don't let them in. I tell people that all the time. You see ICE knocking at your door, don't even open the door. Don't even act like you're home.
Yeah.
Just keep on watching TV.
Yeah. They'll go away eventually. But no, my thing is this though. The law has always been used to suppress protests, right? It's always been used by the powerful to suppress the minority. Slavery was legal. You know what I mean? Abolition, the abolition movement was illegal. Jim Crow was legal. Segregation was legal, right? And so it doesn't matter. If what matters is what's important right now, right? And so being a good student or a good citizen doesn't matter if you're not going to have a country anymore. It doesn't matter if you're not going to have a democracy anymore. It doesn't matter being a good teacher or having a mark on your record because you let students out of the classroom. It doesn't matter anymore, right? So now is the time to really stand up and fight for what matters in this country. Our babies hit the streets in the 60s
Dogs
with German shepherds and police baton and tear gas and fought, you know what I mean, for those rights. And so if it's important to you, forget about having an absent mark on your grade, whatever. You know what I mean? If this is important to you, fight for it. Nobody says it's easy. Being protested and fighting for democracy, it was never meant to be easy. You know what I mean? You can go back to Jefferson, who said, you know, democracy, you have to refresh it from time to time with the blood of tyrants. Even Jefferson knew it's not easy and it's not fun and it's not pleasant. So if this means something, you fight for it. You know what I mean? Forget about the grade, forget about the absent mark, forget about all that kind of stuff. So if it means something, fight. That's my message. Be safe.
At best, it'll probably be marked as tardy.
If you want to have a democracy, I don't care. I'd rather have a tardy mark than to have an authoritarian regime in Washington. You know what I mean? So I think if you weigh the two, I don't think they really come close. You know what I mean? Are we going to keep a 250-year-old democracy, or do I want to keep my perfect attendance record? You know what I mean? So they don't really, you know. So I think you have to get out there and you have to fight. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, before we go, this has been a great discussion today. I guess someone said, Sharon, you've been fussing all morning. Yes, I have. But I want to share this book with you. This is our 2025 Black Book. And this is the story of Black San Antonio in pictures, in articles. We celebrate what we do here. This actually secures our history in print. We encourage you to purchase the book because not only do you have stories here, such as Faith in the Scrolls that was written by, Caleb, did you write the story?
Probably, did I?
No,
Might be an older story.
Someone
No?
else.
Someone else? Okay.
We've got, but we have addresses of Black-owned businesses that you can support. Again, we chronologize Black San Antonio in action in different avenues. We celebrate what we call the
There's Reverend Mitchell.
what do they call the Black
Black Church.
no, not the Black Church, but we celebrating 6 people that we want to, we gave special recognition to in San Antonio. So this is a good book that you can put on your table in your living room. And again, it celebrates Black history in San Antonio, because if we don't do it, it won't be done. So go to blacksinsanantonio.com to purchase your book.
And it just touching on what you said, and just reiterating what you said, though. This is our history. You know what I mean? And it does chronicle our history from the previous year, everything we've done, our events, it's telling our stories. And like Doc said, it's about creating Black economics, because it's about our businesses, how to connect with our businesses. But even then too, I just want to highlight just the quality of this book. Carl puts this book together every year. He does an amazing job putting this book together. And so this book is also about a celebration of Carl and Carl's work and everything that he does in the community. He gives us a voice with this, along with Black Life Texas newspaper. He gives us a voice with the television show. And so we certainly want to acknowledge him and thank him for the book, for all of the outlets that he's provided for us. This is us telling our stories. If you have a story to tell, reach out to us and get your story, get your voice inside of the newspaper. Come on the show. We've had amazing shows about autism. We've had amazing shows about the march. And again, this is our voice. And so, and the same thing, this is chronicling our history and our voice. And so I just want to give a shout out to Carl for this outstanding.
And the unveiling of that book is coming up real soon, right?
Monday the 16th at the Little Carver.
At the Little Carver.
At the Little Carver. So be there or be square. You got to be there. It's a first class event, like all of Carl's events. Carl always puts together first class events. I tell him, I think Mercedes stole his slogan, "The best or nothing," because it's Black excellence on display. It's the best or nothing with Carl. So come out and support. Definitely come out and support. Come out and support the book. Get your copy. Support the newspaper. Support Vista Products. And hopefully we look forward to seeing you guys on Monday.
And at Vista Products, again, we have T-shirts. He produces T-shirts. We've got coffee cups. So it's, as we say, go big or go home.
Monday at 5:30, 6 o'clock?
7-ish, right? I think
it's 5:30.
Carl, what
5:30?
time is it? 7.
7.
Okay.
7. All right.
So again, this is Contemporary Black Voices, and this is our Hot Topics segment where we tell our stories our way. See you next week.
All right.